Good morning on a Thursday. Wow, look at that.
Good morning.
Trevor, excited to be here.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's a SpongeBob thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Trevor's in for Heather, and he got plenty of sleep last night, right, as he switched his schedule completely?
Yep, that's definitely what happened. That's not what happened.
Full 8 hours of sleep. It was great.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, we appreciate Trevor being here, and we know how much you love the weather.
I do. I enjoy. You know what? This is one of my favorite parts of this show because I get to combine my weather knowledge with my very leisurely nature to explain to our viewers the weather in a slightly less professional way.
Sure.
It allows me to be a little bit more myself, and I really like that. So.
Trev,
I'm glad to be here.
You can even take off the suit jacket if you want.
Maybe. I mean, can I actually?
Yeah.
Wow.
I never wear a suit jacket for this thing. It's just laid back and fun.
I guess I just never noticed that you never wore a suit jacket. I got the picture today.
There you go. Yeah, forget the suit jacket. It's casual. Gibb's not wearing his suit jacket today. I said, he's always in a tux and all. I
just imagine Gib wearing a suit jacket. Like if...
We were talking about him getting a limo. He has some wrestling event coming up in a couple weeks. To get him a limo, a nice suit jacket, maybe a top hat.
Yeah.
He's gonna be styling.
That was as good of a time as ever, Gibbert. Gib.
Wow, he's silent. I don't hear anything from Gib. Is my battery working? Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's Gib. Okay. Well, anyway, in case you're brand new to this, I haven't gone through our comments yet. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names and faces. But in case you're watching and not commenting, welcome. We do this every day, most days at 8:35, weekdays especially. And here to just talk about the weather, whatever you want. And Trevor, it's fun. People bring up different topics as we go along.
Yes, people love to bring up different topics.
Yeah.
And I'm good to talk on most of them. Right? I cover for a lot of the sports topics, and you cover for a lot of the more political topics if we have them. But yeah, it's good stuff.
And then Gib can answer questions about hunting, fishing.
Yeah, he's got all the hunting experience.
What else? Technical things, behind the scene things, if you want to know.
Yeah, there's a lot of you'd be surprised. I have a lot of what most people would consider just completely useless knowledge. So I could talk about a lot of things, but I don't typically. I'm usually rather quiet.
But in case something comes up,
in case you never know what my old steel trap's got in there. I could talk about a lot of random things. You'd be surprised.
Well, we always learn something new with the weather quiz.
Yeah. How about this random thing? Wait, that's not a random thing. We do this every day. The weather quiz. Let's talk about it. What is the most common warm core weather phenomena that we experience in the U.S.? There's two types of core systems. Whenever we talk about a insert name, either warm or cold core, we're talking about the process of initiation. What's the main driving factor leading to that specific weather phenomena? There's warm core systems on a giant synoptic scale, and there's cold core systems on a giant synoptic scale. I'm just asking simply, which one is the most common warm core that we see? And as a little hint, the word warm is a dead giveaway in this question. So it's fairly easy. If you follow along those lines, you'll probably be able to figure it out.
And I imagine Trevor Gibbs very excited to show the weather quiz standings
I
for this
imagine
week.
He's very excited.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen, Gib is on a roll this week.
Yeah, he is. He said normally I'm in last place. Well, Gib, you're ahead of everybody this week, so good for you, Gib. How does that make you feel? He said, good. Okay, all right, that's how it should make you feel. Accomplished. And we'll reveal that after Trevor goes through the weather. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic. Yeah. And I will say, this is the first time in a while that I've done this, that if we're talking about the weather, there's actually not a whole lot to talk about, which is strange because we've had such an active stretch of weather that it feels like almost every day there's like, it's the next system, the next big rain, like storms this, rain that. Well, this is the first time in a while that it seems like we don't have that to talk about, at least at the moment. We've got plentiful sunshine today and tomorrow as well, and throughout the entire weekend, and for a good majority of Monday too, it looks like. So for like the next 4.5, 5-ish days look phenomenal.
Nice.
With average temperatures too. It's like, it's one thing to be active weather, but it's also another thing to be like overly warm and also stinking humid the whole time too.
Yep.
None of that. None of that. We're done with that. We're done with that.
Get rid of it.
We're done with that, and I'm done with that because I didn't get out of Texas to come in here 90-degree temperatures with like over 70-degree dew points. No. This is what I want, and it's what I'm getting, and I'm happy.
Well, good. I'm glad it's all working out in your
Yay!
favor. I think a lot of people would agree with you, Trev.
Let's start with how about we do a camera? I don't think.
it.
When's the last time I did a camera to start off a weather segment on the Up North Live?
You have the power, Trev. You
I
have all the
have
buttons
the
and
power.
computers over
I'll
there.
show you just how much power I have.
Ooh.
Just like Emperor Palpatine said in Star Wars, unlimited power. All the power. That is, if I could find the thing I'm looking for.
Just,
Unlimited power is
stalling.
delayed. We're having technical malfunction difficulties. Where is this camera?
I love the
Can't
build
find the graphic. There it is.
There's Gaylord.
Look at that. Look at how sunny it is. I see some clouds, not a lot. Mostly sunny skies today. What about radar? What are we looking at on radar? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I like to see. This is summer in northern Michigan. Welcome to probably what's shaping up to be, I would say, probably the best day of the summer. That is, if you are like me and you like it to be a little bit cooler with a lot of sunshine and a light wind, especially if you're close to the water. You get the nice breeze coming in, and it makes it feel like you're in the 60s with lots of sunshine. In the middle of the summer, too. Well, that's pretty much what today is. We're actually cooler than average, or I should say we're going to be cooler than average. The high temperatures, the highest temperature around the entire northern Michigan region today wasn't forecasted to be any higher than 76. I'm not going to say that we could probably get a few degrees over that. Like, temperatures forecasting is never exact, but generally speaking, we will be in the 70s today, which is actually cooler than average, ranging from the low 70s to like the mid 70s, maybe a couple high 70s here or there. And even a couple like high 60s are possible today as high temperatures in some areas, mainly along like the shoreline, specifically the straits. I'm talking to you, maybe a couple high 60s today. Very beautiful day, lots of sunshine. We'll hold on to that for the remainder of the day. And a lot of times, whenever we have days like this, the immediate question following that is, oh no, it's such a great day. That means that like there's gonna be a terrible one with lots of rain and clouds very soon. Well, actually, no, that's not the case this time. For once, the upper level synoptic pattern has set up in such a way that we are experiencing, or going to be experiencing, lots of clear weather for the next several days. Look on the surface map. This is probably actually slightly out of date at this point. I updated this at like 2 o'clock in the morning, which means it's probably not super accurate, but you can get the main gist. Low pressure with the cold front extending way off to our east. That's what passed through yesterday, gave us some showers, whatever, right? Not everybody got rain, but off to our west, the nice big blue H symbols the high pressure and nothing else surrounding it. That means that we're gonna get a big block of high pressure and it's just gonna stick there for several days. And that means basically no rain chances, basically no clouds, lots of sunshine, and again, no rain. No rain twice. I listed no rain twice to emphasize no rain, right? That's what high pressure means. We like high pressure because it means that we don't get rain. Time for the Stormcast, everybody's favorite future radar tool. What if I just zoom? What if I told you I just zoomed through the whole day right there? Here we go. wham. Did you see any rain? Wait, hold on. Let me go again. No rain. Hardly even any clouds. You might see a few passing clouds. I suspect definitely some puffy, small cumulus building up from a lake breeze. That is common all the time here in northern Michigan. We are surrounded by water, which means it is near impossible to have absolutely no clouds, which is why we emphasize mostly clear. But the gist is that we're going to stay very dry for the next several days. I'll pop up the rain chances here, the seven-day rain graph as an average for the remainder of this week. You look at the weekend, Sunday, a few spotty, isolated chances. The start of Monday, not much. Our next big rain chance doesn't look to come in until later Tuesday into Wednesday. And we can also show that on the long-range forecast as well. But first, I'll show the weekend on the graph forecast, which is just like an extended stormcast. We actually have two different models for the stormcast that we show. For those who've watched this all the time, you could probably actually tell the difference. One goes actually a little bit further out. And we like to use that one for like 2-3 days in advance. So that's what I'm going to use here. We call it the graph. Here we go. We're going to go through the remainder of today. So the graph actually does show the puffy cumulus that I was talking about, which I think is certainly possible today. And then the same thing for Friday. Friday, lots of sunshine. Puffy cumulus possible here or there. And then we get into the weekend. Now, on the weekend, we are going to get a weak cold front that's going to sweep us from the north. And I emphasize weak because while there are the chances, see, look here on Saturday in the afternoon and evening, as the cold front passes, a slight chance for a couple isolated showers into the eastern upper on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we build in the chances for a couple more in the northern lower as well. So you get a couple chances in the eastern upper on Saturday, and then a couple chances for some isolated showers in the northern lower on Sunday. But absolutely nothing widespread is expected as of this very moment, which is really nice. And now I'll cap it off with the Euro, the long-range forecast, the very long-range forecast. The graph actually didn't go out to Sunday, so I'll show Sunday here. Sunday, the other thing about Sunday, though, is that there could maybe be some billowing cloud cover in some areas, some stuck cloud cover on Sunday. It's a little unlikely, but as I always say, nothing is impossible. So billowing cloud cover is possible, but then there is the isolated, a couple chances. The lighter green on future models like this emphasizes a very small chance for rain in that particular area. So it's not like that's what the rain's going to look like that day. It's like it outlines an area that it thinks can get rain, and then the darker shades of green emphasize a higher chance. So you look at northern lower where we are on Sunday, it's not a very high chance. Just a couple isolated showers around. Some stuck cloud cover on Monday. And then this is what we're looking at for later Tuesday into Wednesday, where we certainly are seeing some much higher rain chances. So this is what I was saying, like that's probably our next big, quote-unquote, big chance for rain. Much higher chance coming midweek. But until then, a very long, much longer than we've seen stretch for dry weather with also, as I mentioned, average temperatures, so nothing super warm and nothing super humid, except for maybe, I think, like mid to late Monday might be a little humid for some, but otherwise, it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous couple of days here, or a few days, not even just a couple of days. We're going to go through the next like 4 or 5 days, and it's going to be great. And I'm excited for it because I've been etching for an excuse to get outside more, but it's been like 90s and humid so much recently that I was like, I'm not going outside. Nope. But not anymore. Here's our temperature outlook. Oh boy, look at that. One thing I do want to do, and I'm not the most tech savvy, so I got to ask our chief meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix, this. I want to update this graphic so it shows an average temperature line that goes through the bars there. But if I could do that, you would draw a line basically right over the top of the bars that are pre-existing right there. The average temperature around this time of year for the entirety of northern Michigan is about 79 to 80 degrees, which is right about where we're at on average for the next week. Mm-hmm. So that is really good. And then, as always, I'll cap off with our extended 7-day. isolated chances, very few at the moment, chances for showers on the weekend. Starting early week, same thing, and then we build up what looks like to be greater chances for rain midweek. I always emphasize like possibly and maybe. I always say like maybe a lot whenever I do the main weather, because if we're talking about anything past 3 days in time, it's always like you don't ever want to say like this is what's going to happen, because model forecasting only goes out so far, and generalized map forecasting we do with current data, and current data you can't use that to forecast like 7 days out, which is why we have models, but that doesn't mean models are perfect. So there's the chance for some more widespread rain on Wednesday, but we'll keep you updated on that. But at the moment, we're not expecting anything for the next 3 days, which I am pretty confident about.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe was talking on the news last night, Trevor, about farmers reaching out to him wanting to know, is it going to rain for the next 3 days because they want to harvest the hay and they need a 3-day dry period?
Yeah, and that's
Looks
a real
like now's the
thing.
time.
Like most crops and farmers, like they need the rain for their crops to grow. But there's also times where they need it to not rain.
Exactly.
And that hasn't happened recently. Like
Right.
as I mentioned, the last I don't even know how long it's been. I've lost track of time. I have no concept of time anymore. It feels like it's been 8+ weeks at this point where it's like every other day it's rain, rain, more rain, this system, that system. And it's like we've had so much rain. We have more than caught up on our, I think I remember like 3 or 4 months ago we were talking about like significant drought because we had such a dry and warm winter that we were like, we're in such drought. And then the spring came along and we have more than made up for all the snow, all the water equivalent snowfall that we didn't get in the winter in like the last 2 to 3 months. So we are no longer in drought anywhere, which is great, but sometimes we need it to be dry for more than 1 day. So there you go. There it is. Our dry spell finally for what looks to be at least 4, maybe 5 days. Depending on how fast that system wants to approach, we could probably get some earlier pop-up showers on Monday too. I don't want to discount that possibility either.
I'm just changing my IFB battery, Trev. You keep going.
He's got the battery problems. That's a very real thing that we deal with on the daily. We're not perfect, and technology is not perfect either. All right, well, that's pretty much all I got for the forecast. There's really nothing to talk about. It's great. What about, actually...
They're watching. Say hi to them.
Are they?
Yep.
I wasn't sure. We were discussing this. We weren't actually sure if they would be available to attend.
Yeah, they're in New Mexico.
Beaver, yes, they are visiting my brother. My brother's, I think I've mentioned before, he works for the Air Force, and he is stationed in New Mexico right now. Pretty close. He's on the far eastern side, so he's actually pretty close to Texas, which is where my parents are. There's the Beaver Island Music Festival. Runs through the end of Sunday. Great to go outside and do that. Absolutely beautiful couple of days. And
Don't you love the logo, Trev?
yeah, I
Isn't
do.
that cool?
Heather put that one in. And this one Joe did yesterday.
It looks like
Coverage,
a Joe graphic,
reaching our coverage to Alpena for the 50th Michigan Brown Trout Festival, starting tomorrow. And it goes through the 28th in Alpena County. There's the next 3 days. Again, in the northern lower, isolated showers possible on Sunday. Not on Saturday, though. Saturday, our rain chances, if any, are in the eastern upper, at least as of this very moment. Maybe some along the straits, like right up along the bridge in northern Emmett and Sheboygan counties, and Presque Isle, possible, maybe. But at the moment, we're not foreseeing that.
Ready for the comments, Trevor?
Yes, fire away.
All right, Christopher's watching from Farmington Hills at 62 and it's fair downstate. Thank you, Christopher. It's 60 and sunny, according to Paula. They're in Boyne Falls. Thank you, Paula. Hopefully the recovery is still going well. Susie Q, speaking of recovery, I think she's cleared to do all activities. I think just take it easy in general. But she is on her way to Traverse City, and she's on her way to Weight Watchers with Ron. So she'd probably be there by now. But if Ron's listening, hi, Ron. If Susie Q is still listening, hi, Susie Q. Yeah, 61 and sunny in Traverse City where she is. She wants to know how the team's doing today. Trev?
I'm doing great.
Thumbs up. Gibbert? Thumbs up. All right, thanks, Susie Q, for asking. Gib is saying hello, everyone. John is with us on this Thursday, saying happy Thursday. Joel's watching from the Pleasanton Patriots pub. It's 54 degrees and it's sunny. he had a couple other. Oh, he guessed. Might as well just go through his guess here. Hurricanes is his guess, and he is also saying that he and his buddy went up to the grasslands and watched the parade of clouds yesterday when the cold front came through, and he said it was beautiful to see. Trevor.
Yep.
And he's saying Trevor is so funny with those emojis, with sideways head laughing emoji. And he's saying that corn is doing great around his neighborhood.
That's good to hear. I should actually do, that reminds me, I need to do, there's a couple crop stories that I probably should do. I'm late, because I've been doing so much weather filling, I'm late on a blueberry story. I got to do that like early next week.
Ooh.
Thinking of talking to a
blueberries.
local farmer about blueberries pretty soon. So look forward to that if you're into like the local coverage that we do. Local blueberry story on the way. You heard it here.
Yeah, you would pretty much become our agricultural reporter.
Yeah, in a sense, I guess I have.
Yeah, that should be.
I kind of just took on that. I kind of just voluntarily took that on. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go around and do farm stories because
That's what Heather was doing, and then Heather took over the morning show.
Such a large portion of our economy here in northern Michigan. We rely on farmland
absolutely.
so much.
Yep.
Which is not the case where I grew up. So it's a complete reversal. We also didn't even have trees where I grew up. That's an exaggeration, of course, but like, we didn't have trees. All I saw was houses.
We got the farms, the lakes, of course, the beaches, the forests.
Great Lakes are absolutely beautiful, by the way. Especially the ones that surround Michigan. I'm completely partial to Lake Michigan. It is absolutely beautiful.
Just Ontario, the only Great Lake not touching Michigan.
That's true.
Yep. All right, who else do we have here? We have Paul watching from Rogers City. Nancy is watching from East Jordan. It's 59 there. And Paula said, "Go Trevor."
Yeah!
Christopher's guessing hurricanes. Paula's guessing tornadoes. Heather, speaking of her, she's
Hi,
saying,
Heather.
"Morning, friends. Hi, Bricka."
How's your vacation going? Wait, is your sister in yet?
So Heather is going to be picking up her sister in the next few hours.
Oh.
So I'm sure Heather's maybe doing some last-minute cleaning around the place, maybe telling Stella to be a good girl when her Aunt Sam comes to visit, or Auntie Sammy, or whatever they're calling Heather's sister. I'm sure, yeah, just some gentle reminders to Stella. Just behave. Just be a good girl. All right, here's a comment from your mom, Trevor. He's saying good morning. Excuse me, I was reading your dad's name. Anyway, your mom's commenting on your dad's name. So.
Yep.
Your mom is saying good morning, Brendan, Trev, and all of the Upper Five staff and crew. Have a wonderfully joyous day.
I will. And by that, I mean I'm going to go home and crash.
Yes. Yeah.
It's such a beautiful day, but I'm not going to be able to enjoy most of it because I'm going to keep it a $150 with you. I probably shouldn't say that because people probably don't. I'm going to keep it honest with you. I am running on zero sleep right now. Zero.
Just a little bit of rest.
I tried. It did. My body didn't want to go to sleep. My brain, it isn't working for me anymore. I've gotten into the adulthood phase. I'm very much like, I take a little bit after my mom where I just struggle to sleep, and it gets worse with age for whatever reason.
And then he gets on the morning show.
I tried to sleep.
Yeah.
I genuinely did. I was like, you know what? I'm going to lay down at 7:30, which is the earliest I've gone to bed in years. I haven't done that since I was like a kid when I was forced to have a bedtime, which was ages ago, right? I laid down, and I didn't look at my phone at all because like I was like, you know, if I look at the time, it's going to get me stressed to try to get to bed.
Yeah.
And then I like, you know, getting anxious about the time and how much sleep I'm getting isn't going to help me. So I laid down with my eyes closed for what felt like ages, and I never drifted off. And I got up to go get a drink of water, and I happened to just glance at the time on the stove and saw it was 11 o'clock, and I was like, and right then I noticed, the realization hit me. I was like, I'm not sleeping tonight, am I?
Yeah.
And so I didn't. I'm running on zero sleep. I've been up since 6:30 yesterday morning.
You would have fooled us, Trevor, with the energy you bring to the morning show. We're glad you're with us, and hopefully Brooke is enjoying vacation.
I did.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
All right. Nancy is guessing tornadoes. Trevor, Drew, wants to know, Trevor, what is your favorite movie?
That's changed many times. If you had asked me 10 years ago, I would have said Terminator 2.
Okay.
Nowadays, honestly, I don't know. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
You want to get back to that?
Yeah.
Okay, you can
I'll
think
think about that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that one.
Susan Lash Sims says it's sunny and 59 in Kalkaska. Your dad is saying LOTR, what, Lord of the Rings? Is that what that stands for? And Hobbit trilogy.
Oh, that's
is
up
what
there.
he's commenting
That's up
on.
there.
Yep.
Specifically, if I had to pick, I'm like, all of them are so good. But if I had to pick one in particular, Lord of the Rings 2 Towers is probably my favorite of those 6 movies. Is it my favorite movie of all time? I don't know. It's certainly in the top 5. The Dark Knight is certainly in the top 5. The Joaquin Phoenix Joker is certainly in the top 5. That is, in my opinion, the most underrated movie in history. That movie is so good, and it brings such good light to like the traumatization that people like face on a day-to-day basis, just trying to fit in and being rejected constantly.
Gotcha.
And it is a traumatic movie, but it is so engaging. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it, by the way.
Good deal. Thanks for the recommendation. We're back to weather quiz guesses. Susie Q is guessing tornadoes. Tom's with us on this Thursday. He said, "Good morning, fellas. My youth ballet company is having a fundraiser brunch at Town Line Cider Saturday morning from 10 to noon. He'll be singing and playing the guitar." He said, "Come on out and join us for a delicious brunch and cider mimosas."
I like the guitar.
I have never had a cider mimosa. That sounds good, Tom. Thanks for letting us know. Got Jackie watching. It's 53 in Kalkaska, lots of sun. She's off to work in the berms, do some gardening, and she's guessing tornado. And yes, so as your dad's saying here, Trevor, he said, we're in Clovis, New Mexico. It's 61, lost more than 10 degrees coming here. Our mornings in the DFW generally have started in the mid-80s as of late. Can't wait for October and the end of summer.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I'm having the same issue you were having, Brenda, so I'm going to step away here for a second. I got to change my IFB battery.
Batteries were... Well, you know what? I'm going to read...
Batteries are failing me.
I'm going to read my dad's comment, and then you can still talk, though. You just can't hear.
Yes, my mic is still
Can't
on.
hear
It's just
Gib.
my IFB is not.
So my dad said, "Good morning, Brendan and Trevor. I'm looking forward to the next hockey season. Maybe Detroit will make the playoffs."
So am I.
Apparently
and I've
Detroit
already got some
re-signed Patrick
crazy
Kane.
predictions about that.
What'd you say?
I said I am also looking forward in great deal to the next hockey season, and I've already got some crazy predictions for surprising teams, disappointing teams, overrated teams, and even a top 3 for teams who I think are most likely to win the cup. I've already thought it all out, and we're still like more than 2 months out.
Well, you're not alone. My dad's thinking of the next season as well. Thanks for watching, Dad. He watches from time to time, but he rarely comments, so this is a big deal. Christopher talking about Mark Watkins. He used to say, and yes, you're right, Christopher, that temps can be +5 or -5 degrees in any area.
Yep.
And this is your dad going off Joel's comment saying, "Trevor's so funny." Your dad said he's a goofball, LOL.
That was one of my many nicknames growing up, along with, I think my mom's favorite one was Tiggerbox, because all I did was jump around. I had
much
such
has
strong
changed.
legs, and all I did was use them to jump around. You know, now that I've gotten older, I realize, I was like, it hasn't happened yet, but I was like, doesn't that mean that I'm just going to have like really bad knee problems? Because all I did was jump around as a kid. Well, I'll get to that whenever we get there.
Your knees are good so far?
When we get there, but I did a lot of jumping around. I should have been on like a jumping gymnastics team or something.
It's not too late. You're still young,
sick.
Trev. We have Sarah, our friend and coworker.
Hi, Sarah.
Her first full day of her new year. I was going to reveal her age, but that's not nice to talk about a lady's age, right? She said, "Happy Thursday, so close to the weekend." Got that right. Richard said, "Thanks for the show." You're welcome, Richard. Dana Sternfeld, is that a family friend?
That is my aunt.
That's your aunt.
That's my aunt in town.
I said, Aunt Dana? Is that?
Yes, Aunt Dana. She
She's-
lives in Kalkaska currently.
Oh, gotcha. That's your aunt in Kalkaska. I
Yep.
see. Well, she said, "So funny. Great garb." Love it, Trev.
Thank you. I try.
Christopher said he lived in Alpena for 2 decades. Trevor has a request for you, Trevor.
Drew.
Can we hear your Scooby-Doo impression?
I'm not doing it on live TV,
Oh,
no.
man. We're on social media. Does that make a difference? Oh.
I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I love to be myself and be goofy and do this stuff on social media, but that's the kind of stuff like I won't do.
All right,
I won't do that on live Facebook.
Trevor, Drew, I asked, okay? I did my duty. But that's understandable. We have boundaries here, right?
I do have boundaries.
Mark's watching from Io, 52 degrees this morning. Heather said cleaning the bathroom, and yes, talking with Stella about being nice to Auntie Sammy. I thought you called her Auntie Sammy. Okay, good. I do listen, Heather, from time to time, so hopefully Stella is listening. Sarah said, tell Stella no hissing at Auntie Sammy. We'll see if Stella listens. Mark said, Trev and I have a lot, your dad, Mark, by the way. Trev and I have a lot of energy. With that comes little sleep. Oh, okay, we're now learning all the comments have been from your mom. We are 2 hours behind. Your dad's still asleep.
So she's just silently watching on her phone, which I will say right off the bat doesn't surprise me because she's up very early every morning.
Gotcha.
Because she's a lot like me, or maybe I should say I'm a lot like her now, where I get up early and I go to bed late, and we don't sleep. we don't sleep. Is the simplest way to put it.
Yeah. We have another friend and coworker watching. Trev, do you want to guess?
A friend and coworker. A coworker.
Just throw out a name.
Dan.
Nope. Female. You work with her on the weekends.
It's Nicole.
Yeah, Nicole.
I was about to say Allie. I was about to go on the list. I was like, Allie?
Nicole said, good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Hi, Nicole. Morning. Thanks for watching. We are all caught up now on comments and guesses. So, Trevor, what is the answer? We're entering record territory in terms of the length of this, but that's
I realized that. We're well over 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll probably just try to wrap this up real quick.
Sounds
the
good.
most common warm core weather phenomena that we experience in the U.S., and again, I had mentioned that the word warm in that is like a dead giveaway. It's hurricanes. Hurricanes, they form because of very, very warm open sea temperatures, like open ocean temperatures, right? So they are considered warm core systems, and the main difference between them and cold core is that warm core systems are classed as systems where their strength profile decreases with height instead of increasing with height, which is what happens with cold core systems that generate off of the Rockies. Those are cold core. So like our Norwegian cyclone model that generates our regularly routine cyclones that come off the Rockies and go through the Great Plains, and they have those long, elongated, funny looking cold fronts. Those are all cold core systems, and they generate storms, hailstorms, tornadoes, and we call those cyclones. And well, hurricanes are also cyclones, but not all cyclones are hurricanes. Not all cyclones are cold core, warm core systems. So yeah, the answer there is hurricanes. They're the most common warm core that we get. Obviously, that's down in our tropical regions. Up here in Michigan, we don't get that unless it's Beryl for whatever reason.
We felt the
whatever
effects of
reason, I
Beryl.
guess Beryl decided to pay us a visit, but that hardly ever happens.
Yeah. All right.
There it is.
Nice job, Gib. He's 4
Director
for
Gibb,
4,
he's
Trev.
killing it. I gotta pick a hard question tomorrow. I gotta make sure nobody gets it right.
Oh, so Gibb's gonna be 4.
Director Gibb's gonna be sweating
maybe
tomorrow. He's gonna be sweating tomorrow.
But maybe not. Maybe he'll.
Maybe not.
5,
Maybe he'll just.
5.
It's a 1 in
5 for
3,
5.
right? He could just completely guess it and get it right. 1 in 3 is only a 33% chance. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
I've looked out on 33% chances all the time.
And Trev, do you want to talk about what's coming up tomorrow morning? The story you've been working on.
Yes. So. Because I wasn't doing fill-in yesterday, I was actually dayside yesterday working on a story. And the story that I'm working on is about elevated E. coli levels in a local, and by local I mean local to us here in Grand Traverse County, called Mitchell Creek. Elevated E. coli, and the Grand Traverse Bay watershed was doing microbial source tracking sampling on that to determine where this E. coli is coming from. and try to determine the best practice to tackle the problem. And so my story that's going to air tomorrow is covering their work and what they found in Mitchell Creek, and also what it means for us on not just a creek and watershed scale, but also a Great Lakes region scale, why it's important that we're aware of elevated E. coli in not just Mitchell Creek, but all over. We've had many elevated E. coli levels recently, and that partially has to do with the weather, which I regrettably did not talk about that in my story, because if I did, it would have been like a 5-minute story, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I do wholly believe that E. coli it's an increase in activity due to animals, which can be directly related in a lot of ways to the weather that we've been seeing, increasing animal activity. A lot of that is obviously climate change. So it's interesting, and I just wanted to do a story on that so people are aware of the dangers of E. coli and what we can do to try to combat it as much as possible. So look forward to that tomorrow morning. That'll air in the morning at 6 a.m. and also in the evening at 6 p.m. if you prefer that. It'll also be on our website, upnorthlive.com.
And a bonus, Trevor, it'll be in the 4:30, 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30.
That's the great thing about the morning show.
Yeah.
Is that it's actually multiple shows.
People waking up at all hours of the morning, so we'll be airing it multiple times for your convenience. So that's a preview of what's coming up tomorrow. We'll be back, starting at 4:30 a.m. on air. Also, you can stream online as well if you don't get the antenna, if you don't have an antenna or satellite or cable or whatever. So we're going to wrap it up there, and I think that about covers everything. Gib, anything else? Okay. All right, well, thanks for joining us on this Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.